Hello, I'm your host, Gavin Masters. Here at the Best Start Guide, sometimes people at the Discord, they go, "Hey, Gavin, how do you decide who to six-star next? I don't know who to six-star next." Well, here at the Best Start Guide, we come to you. We come to you. Here at the Best Start Guide, I have a way of... Yeah, I can't keep that up. Welcome back to the Best Start Guide, guys. Um, but here's the question. Who to six-star next? It is an important question because you know what? Six-starring a unit is super duper frickin' hard. I don't know why they make it so hard. I think I think they should start the game with five-star chickens just for people that are trying to start. Otherwise, like it takes forever. You get to 5 stars and then you think you're done. Eh, because how are you supposed to get on? So like look at this. This is when did we six-star kill? Like day 18? So here we are, day, what is it? It's the same as the day of the month, day 24. And we only have two chickens. This one came from the advanced quest, actually. This is why it's important to do the advanced quests. If we look at the advanced quests, here they are. We got the 5-star chicken from here. You can get like one a month this way. So it'd be nice if there was like, I don't know, maybe one a week instead of one a month. Hey Plarium, you wanna help us all out? You wanna do us a solid? Give us more chickens. While you're at it, give us more books because this is a super slow way to get books. Books are even harder to get than chickens. Like chickens, you can at least grind out in the tavern, which sucks, by the way. Grinding out stuff in the tavern sucks. Grinding out stuff the slow way sucks. But anyway, I'm not going to belabor this point anymore. Point's been made. It is very difficult to six-star a unit. So how do you decide who to six-star next? Well, here are here are my 3 steps. One, what areas do I need to progress? And I've got area priorities right here. That's right. I got a new set of notes. This didn't fit on one page anymore. Like I got this. This is like my overview page, and I've just got a second page of notes. I Somebody even asked in the Discord for a copy of the notes. I will post these in the description this time, I promise. So these notes will actually be in the description if you want to just like copy paste them into a Word document of your own, just so you have a nice little cheat sheet that you can consult at any time. That's kind of the point of this guide. I want this to be something where anytime you feel like you're stuck, I mean, you can always come to my Discord and ask, and one of my friendly deputies or one of the other experts or me, because I have like I have very little going on in my life right now, so I'll just hover over the Discord and I'll just I'll have an opinion. Everybody has an opinion, right? But we have anyway. This is the overview. So, what area do you need to progress? And I got clan boss exclamation mark at the end there because you always want to progress in clan boss. That's kind of like the main bottleneck for your account. You could probably even look at it as having 5 different levels. I mean, there are literally 6 levels of clan boss, but I think basically easy and normal are level 1. You're really hitting level 2 when you get to the top chest of hard, which even this account is still struggling with. But the idea is you'll probably get there. And as this guide progresses, we will collectively get more of a sense of about when you can progress to level 3 to level 2, top chest of hard, level 3, top chest of brutal, to level 4, top chest of nightmare. That'll probably take about 6 months at the very least. And then top chest of ultra nightmare will probably take a year. So this account's probably not going to get there, but you never know. We could get very lucky with um, the necessary champions to do that. You are going to need specific champions to do specific roles for that. But let's take this one step at a time. So, what areas do I need to progress? What roles do I need? So I've filled this in for the early ones. You'll see the ones at the bottom here. I haven't bothered with them yet because they're not relevant yet. Hydra, Sintranos, you're not going to get to these 2 places for a while, and even when you do, you're not really going to be able to do well at them. And I'm not going to be able to do well at them, so screw it. These are practically non-existent. I don't even know if we're going to have a decent Hydra team by month 6, but we'll see. I'm gonna remain pessimistic for Hydra. For SinCity, I mean, I haven't even looked in it. I don't think it's even unlocked yet. I'm trying to remember what level it unlocks at. 52. That's pretty far away. We're what? We're level 42. 52 is probably a month or two from here for me. So, number 3 then is what champs fill the most needed roles. Because that's really how you're going to decide who your next 6 is going to be. So your first 6, you go down to area priorities here. Area priorities. Your first 6 is your campaign farmer. It's the only role you need for campaign, farmer. And it's required, you probably inherently know that. Like, this is basic stuff. This probably should have gone in episode 1, but I wasn't as organized about it. But it was something that I've been talking about the whole time, but it still needs to be said. If you are at day 24 and you don't have a proper campaign farmer, that's really your top priority. So at this point, and if you want to start over, again, your top priority, and it's probably your starter. Now, Beanie Senpai managed to pull Leorius, one of the few champions that I think basically makes his starter completely and utterly irrelevant. He started with a Thel, and I was looking forward to watching him just go through the account with a Thel. But now I think, and I'm pretty sure he's going to do this. I'm pretty sure he's going to 6-star his Leorius, and we're going to get to see a new game start series, what it looks like with Leorius. If you build the whole account around Leorius, and he's a glorious champion. I like to call him Leorius the Glorious. Here on this account, we do not have Leorius the Glorious. We 6-starred Kale. So this is going to be like a much more typical account in that regard. And that's okay, because I like Kale. I mean, I was using Kale to solo Spider 10 yesterday, and I maintain, I think it, because Kale's poisons are barely relevant when it comes to Spider, because Spider takes, I think, 90% less damage from poisons, that honestly, whichever starter you've got, that's the one you want to bring against Spider. A Thel might actually have the biggest advantage because she's got the weaken. And I was running a tournament yesterday. I ranted about not wanting to do events anymore, and I really don't. So I was basically just trying to push this last one just because we were already in it, and I kind of wanted to push Spider all the way up to the end just because we happened to be in first place. But last I checked, we'd been sniped. Oh, and this guy's like even further ahead. So I was basically like, okay, pencils down. That's fine. We're not winning this. We'll come in second. It's all right. I really wanted the 6-star Relentless Gear, but 5-star Relentless Gear is still really, really good for this stage in the game. It looks like we better check in as well. So we'll do the dailies as well. This is a typical thing we want to do. We claim our chest. Is it going to be energy? Oh, it's going to be gems. Gems are always welcome. Do I have any quests left? Come to think of it, I did them all yesterday. I was kind of, well, anyway, we have some advanced stuff we can do today, so that'll be fun. But first, let's just finish the selection process, because I'm actually gonna end with a question for you guys. So your first should be your campaign farmer. After that, you probably want a coverage nuker. So here I've got my 6-star Q. Number 1 was Kale, because he's a nuker, he's a poisoner, he's a campaign farmer. He covers the campaign farmer requirement. So you don't have to make it your starter, but you are going to have to make it somebody with an area of effect attack. Mr. Burrito Slayer, for instance, he's going with Saurus from the Lizardman faction. I've got him too. I even booked mine out. I could book him at least up to 5 and see how well he handles campaign, because if he does it faster than Kale, I might replace Kale with Saurus. I might actually wait and see how well Mr. Burrito Slayer does with it, because if he really gets it to the point where this is a 6-star campaign farmer, cool. There are definitely better champions to do this with than Saurus, but Saurus is pretty strong because you can see he's got this big attack, but really if you fully book his A1, and by book I mean just book with duplicates of Saurus, you can even farm Saurus from campaign if you really really want him. If you're really looking for a good campaign farmer that is not the starter. I'm trying to remember if it's here. No, it's not. It's further along, isn't it? Maybe it's from Godfrey's Crossing. It's Godfrey's Crossing. So you get a lot of lizardmen from here. I guess there are two different areas you can acquire lizardmen. He is from the second area where you can require them. So from Godfrey's Crossing, which Saurus would be particularly bad at because it's mostly magic. And that's the other thing to bear in mind. You think about where you're going to be farming. If you're going to be farming stage 3, you got a lot of spirit, and that's why the campaign farmers are often best as magic champion. But let's say you've decided you wanted to farm a different area because there's a particular target champion that you want. Maybe you wanted to target Executioner, for example. This guy's awesome. And you're looking for him, you're going to want somebody that's spirit affinity because you're dealing with a lot of force champions. So that's when you would want somebody like Saurus or Shield Guard. I swear by Shield Guard. That's why I'm kind of thinking maybe my next 6 will be him. But that's one consideration because we've also got Sun Wukong who can fill all kinds of roles. This dude. We started with Sun Wukong. He'd be good to go with. But basically, you want a campaign farmer. That's the first thing you want. So that's got to be your first 6 because that dramatically accelerates the process. If you make the campaign farming process faster, then it's faster, right? So if you don't have a proper campaign farmer, you've got like a complete team, it just sort of falls apart. You might be tempted to make your reviver your first 6 stars so that he or she is good and tough. It's tempting, but don't do it. Make it your starter. You might get some kind of support Lego. Don't do it. Make it your starter. I'm gonna check the referral program thing here. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Shardio rocks. We're getting more of this XP. I probably could have left it in here actually, but who is this? Who is Shardio rocks? Feel free to introduce yourself in the comments. Let me know in the comments. I mean, Mr. Burrito Slayer, is that you? Who is that? Who is it? Who are you? But whoever you are, thank you for helping me out. That said, I still have room for one more referral account. I am not going to do the self-referral thing. I'm not doing it. I don't, I can't, I just can't. So I'm not doing it. So if you want to help me out, whoever it is you are, not necessarily Shardio Rocks, just anybody else wants to volunteer, cool. That's probably going to be one of my next 2 6 stars. Because in fact, let's go down to my my 6-star queue here. We got Kale. Next is going to be a coverage nuker. And this is what I'd recommend as your second 6-star. So if you started with, say, Athel or Kale or Elhain or the other guy, great. You got magic covered. So now you have a magic nuker if you wanted to farm areas 9 and 12 in particular, because 12 is the best for experience. 9 is a way to get Shield Guard and War Maiden. And I'll get into why you want to farm those areas in a little bit. But you want a coverage farmer because otherwise you're going to start to really struggle when you hit the force areas. And you've probably already noticed this. If you've been following along since the beginning at this point, you're like, Gavin, I know. Force is harder because I only have Kale or I only have Elhain. So that's why you want Shield Guard. Honestly, Shield Guard is who I recommend. Saurus is a nice alternative choice If you use the Sun Wukong code, which I strongly recommend, that. If you use the Deacon code, Deacon is also a spirit champion. He is in the Sacred Order, and he actually makes it so that you don't really need to farm War Maiden. So there's a lot to be said for going for Deacon as well. So if you have Deacon, you could even make him your next 6-star. And you could build him for damage, make sure he's got enough accuracy and speed that he's functional as your speed controller and your debuffer, but he's a good kind of jack of all trades champion. Like, he's got a speed aura to help everywhere. He's got the turn meter fill and the extra turn from that. So he just goes straight into his decreased defense, which once you book him, and honestly, he's worth every epic book you have. So if you have Deacon, this is where you put your epic books. Like, you have certainty. On this account, I pulled Gorlos, and I still haven't put any books into him because I'm still not sure if I need to book Gorlos. I'm just not sure if it's worth it. I'm holding on to the books. If I happen to get Djamarsa, from the referrals, if I happen to get Djamarsa, she's going to get the books. She's well worth the books. I mean, I've gone over Djamarsa's kit before, so I'm not going to do that this time. So where are we then? So that is my recommendation for the second 6-star, is basically, it's just a second damage dealer. And the reason is pretty sound, because you've got your campaign farmer. Campaign farmer is required. When you're farming campaign in areas that are force, you're going to want an alternate one. So basically, it's going to be a second campaign farmer. You might want a campaign farmer, somebody that's going to be even more efficient than, say, Kale. And that's why somebody like Saurus might be a really good choice, because he just has nothing but AoEs. So you're just slamming your way through the waves, possibly in 6 or 7 seconds, if you build him really, really, really well. But I'd say probably start with your starter. Your starter has better modifiers and is likelier to make it through campaign on his or her own. So do that first before you worry about being too efficient at campaign farming, because a dedicated campaign farmer might be a Saurus that's got a speed of, say, 102. Because he doesn't need to be faster. He just needs to one-shot everything, and then that's it. So he's one and done. But a speed of 102 is not particularly good for a lot of other areas in the game. It's going to be very fast at campaign. He's just going to suck everywhere else. But if he's a specialist at campaign, you could then take your starter, and your starter could be in your best lifesteal gear. And your coverage / campaign farmer could just be in the best damaging gear you've got. Maybe you have 4 pieces of Savage. Savage is great. It's going to pierce through their defense. You're going to be ignoring defense with Savage gear. So if you can get any decent Savage gear from Fire Knight, you do that. But that said, you're still going to need a decent enough starter to be able to get to that point anyway. So that's why I recommend a starter as your first. Number 3, then, you could probably any support. Like, at this point, this is what I want, and I don't know if I'm necessarily going to stick with this beyond there, but I do stand by the area priorities. So the second area priority is Demon Lord Clan Boss. You basically want to take your first 5 6s, and they're just going to be in the team. And you basically just want them to survive. So DPS, this is required when fighting the Demon Lord Clan Boss. And you know what? While talking about the Demon Lord Clan Boss, let's go ahead and fight him. On this account, we got some rewards. So I don't think I got the chest last time. The top chest, I mean. That sucks. And that, ooh, speed. Okay, I do not mind that. I like it when we get speed, even though it's just a 4-star. Would have been nice to get a shard finally. I think we still haven't received a single shard from Clan Boss. It's kind of amazing, the disparity between the low levels of Clan Boss and the kinds of stuff that you can get once you're hitting Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare. When you're hitting Ultra Nightmare, you're getting shards every day. like almost every day I will get at least one ancient, sorry, at least one void or sacred. Every day I'll get like at least one or the other of these. And I'll often enough get a legendary book. I will get multiple ancient shards. Sometimes I get like 5 or 6 of them. Just collecting the clan boss chests. It's nutty how good it is. So this is why it's so important. So we're going to come in and hit hard. This is basically still the best I've got. I just have a 6-star Kale, so that's what we're going to lean into. And while they fight the clan boss, I'm going to go over the rolls here. So you have your damage per second, right? You're going to start with 2 units that do that because it's going to be the same as the 2 that you're using as campaign farmers. Then this way you know you're covering everything because your starter, for instance, for Kale, he does everything. He is the nuker in arena. He is the poisoner for every boss that I fight. He is my campaign farmer. So he's covering everything. He is one man that just kind of does it all. If you chose Elhain, she's not a poisoner, but she'll still work at basically everything else. Elhain might even arguably be better at Spider because she's got more area of effect attacks. She's probably going to be the best of the 4 at Spider, come to think of it. Like, I think I said Ethel with her weaken, but I don't know what I was thinking because Elhain has 2 area of effect attacks. But anyway, whoever your starter is, that's probably your one. I know I keep saying this over and over again, but I want to make sure everybody gets that message. Use your starter, whoever it is, and it could be any of the 4 starters you like. Doesn't have to be Kale. It could be anybody. If you really like Galek, hey, lean into Galek. He's cool. He gives himself a speed buff. I actually think that's really neat. He brings the decreased defense. I think that's pretty cool. It means you don't necessarily need a War Maiden, although you do still need debuffs to really make it shine, like other debuffers. That's the thing about Galek's kit. It's kind of weird, but you can make it work. Anyway, we want healers. This is what we're going to start to need once we have our DPS. So basically, I am probably going to go with Sun Wukong, particularly because I took a quest stating that I would 6-star a legendary Skinwalker. That's basically Sun Wukong. There is no one else that can do that. So for me, Sun Wukong will be number 2 for that reason. But I do want to kind of leave this out in the open. I mean, I'm not even ready to make my number 2 yet, but I want to leave this out in the open as an open question. What do you guys think should be my number 3? And I'm gonna end with this question too. But when I end with this question, I'm going to have gone through this crash course with you guys about how to select your next 6, and I'm basically going to put it to you guys based on the precepts that I've put forward. Who should it actually be? And it doesn't have to be a reviver healer. That's what I'm thinking. But also, this is me being maybe idealistic and hoping that I do manage to acquire Djamarsa. Oh, look, we got 4 million. That is not too shabby. I might even just go in and run that again. We need to get a 11 something, so I'm actually prepared to spend 3 keys on this to try to get the top chest. I think that's probably a better use of the keys than getting the bottom 2. But I'll probably still use the final key on normal, just because I can 1 key normal. But for now, let's go over the roles that we need. So, DPS. We'll have 2 DPS champions. So the 3rd champion that we do is almost certainly going to need to be somebody that brings healing, because we need healing for the clan boss. Now, there's healing cooked into this already. If you look at the way my team is arranged, you see Kale is constantly sucking back health. Shield Guard is sucking back health too. The 2 of them are in lifesteal, and that is one way around needing a specific healer. I think ultimately you'll want somebody to fill the healing role so you can put your DPS units in more suitable gear that will help in all kinds of areas. But in the early game, lifesteal is just so good. It's OP in in the open game, because you can take a character and solo with them in lifesteal as long as they're doing enough damage. You have a second type of solo champ who might be doing it with poisons or an HP burn or something like that. And if they don't have a lot of damage that they put out, that's when regen becomes better than lifesteal if you want them to be able to sustain themselves. So you can have regen, you can have immortal, which can supplement regen, and you can have lifesteal. And all of these can make it so that you don't need a dedicated healer. That said, if you can get a dedicated healer, you have more options when it comes to gear. You can look at damage mitigation. So instead of putting everybody in lifesteal, you'd be able to put people in stuff like stalwart gear, which reduces the damage from area of effective attacks, which from the Demon Lord is almost all of them. I mean, every third attack is that single target stun. Demon Lord is always the same, by the way. It's always an area of effect attack, and then a bigger, even more damaging area of effect attack, and then a single target stun, and then he just cycles through those three again. And that's how you speed tune the clan boss, because he really doesn't change up his strategy at all. He basically just does AoE, bigger AoE, single target stun, rinse repeat. Wow, this wasn't as good of a one, but we should be able to 3-key. So I am comfortable with that plan. So healing. Who's going to be the healer? That's the question. So coming in, we have, and I'm not going to click on the summon portal. I'm just going to go to here. What is going on here? What? Oh no, something strange is happening. Oh, I'm sorry about this, folks. What is opening up? Raid Shadow Legends Unity. That's interesting. Okay, so now I'm looking at my edit suite. The screen isn't kind of blanked out here. It just looks like there's nothing happening, but it's like completely frozen on my machine. And now it's gone. It's crashed. Okay. No problem. Let's open it back up, and I have my notes, so I have things to talk about while we reboot the game. So I'm going to start by opening Plarium Play. So here, we have Zinogre or Zinogre Blade Master. I'm still not sure how to pronounce it. It kind of depends on if it's the Japanese pronunciation of the characters, which is a specific kind of thing, or if it is supposed to be Zin Ogre. I don't know enough about the series. Does anybody know like the pronunciation key? I mean, you could comment, but it's still going to be text, so it's going to be kind of wonky. But anyway, healing. So here you go. Let's say you started with Deacon. Deacon has the Leech on his A1. That is extremely valuable. Leech can maybe be the only source of healing you need for Clan Boss. So let's make sure we got the right account selected here. I'm going to select the Gavin 2024. Go. All right, we're booting the game. I apologize for that. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Apparently, when I tried to look at Zinogre Blade Master, she's a champion that's clearly so awesome that the game couldn't handle it, and it just crashed. But anyway, and leave my notes in the foreground, please. So, Zinogre Blade Master has the Leech, so that's who I'm thinking of for healing. But obviously, if I get Djamarsa, she brings a lot of healing too. She might even bring enough healing to keep the party alive for a similar amount of time. It's tricky. It depends. With strong DPS champions, you want the War Master Mastery, or if they have 3 hits or more, you want the Giant Slayer Mastery. This makes a massive difference. I'll probably do an episode where I talk about how to build damage dealers for different things, but for this episode, I really just want to focus on who who to 6-star next. So I'm trying to stay focused on that. I do apologize that I keep distracting myself with stuff. But basically, with the healer, you've got Leech. So Leech on Zinogre Blademaster, on Deacon Armstrong, there are many champions that have Leech. I don't know that there are any guaranteed champions that have Leech outside of the event that just finished or the code that gives you Deacon Armstrong. But if you started with Deacon Armstrong, you're good. You've got Leech. You absolutely, if you started with Deacon Armstrong, honestly, I'd say he's probably your coverage nuke or DPS farmer. Like he has an AOE every other turn, and he's got that time compression, so he's even slowing down everybody's turn meter. You don't even have to put him in lifesteal because he has that leech. Um, he's crazy good. Progressive event, cool. What champions are? This has probably been announced by some of the other content creators already, but who's available? Out of curiosity. And please don't crash again, game. Oh, Duchess. Man, if we got Duchess, and this ends in 20 hours, eh? If we got Duchess or even Rector Drath, that would be the healer. That would be the one that we'd go with. Hatter is good at damage mitigation as well. But I'd say, why is this guy locked? Oh, he's just locked because okay. So who is it? Is this? That's not King Galkabar. This is the new guy, isn't it? I don't even remember what his name is. Yeah, just quit. I think it's this guy. I think he's in this faction. No, he's not. What faction is he even? Oh wait, yes he is. Yes he is. Okay. So he's this guy, Fear All. Fear All Barkhorn. Wow, look at this dude. So the sense I'm getting is, I don't know, maybe a defense-based nuker? He does have good support potential. He raises resistance and accuracy. That's interesting. This is interesting stuff. So, I don't know. Let's say you happened to pull this guy. I probably would make him number 5 because he can round out a clan boss team, but you got other priorities to get to first. But man, if I got Duchess, I mean, I mean, let's take a look at her. If we take a look at Duchess, there she is. She has the same aura that Deacon has, which is, it's interesting that an epic has the same aura as a legendary. I feel like her speed aura should maybe be a little bit better, but it's really difficult to complain because she has this passive which decreases the damage taken by all allies from area of effect attacks. So that's going to instantly help with clan boss. You're just taking less damage. In the arena, you're taking less damage. It's not limited by an area. If she's in the party, you're just taking less damage. She also puts veils on the party, and veils make it so that you take less damage. So that compounds it. There's this passive permanent damage reduction, and then there's this damage reduction too. Plus there's the healing. She gets the block debuffs, increase attack to make your attack-based champions really shine. So yeah, I mean, if I could make a prayer to RN Jesus, it would be for Duchess Lilitu. Honestly, I'm tempted to pull these shards here. I mean, this is the only day for it. We're kind of out of the we're out of events. Like I don't care about events anymore. We're not doing events. I think they're just contrary to the spirit of what I'm trying to achieve here. So Duchess, for example, would be a good damage mitigator. I've got that listed in Clan Boss somewhere. Where is it? Yeah, damage mitigation. That's actually next on the list. So this is maybe second to heal, because damage mitigation's great if you could take less damage, but if you're still slowly dying, you need healing. So damage mitigation What is that? Well, you have the passives like Duchess is passive, but you have the more common stuff like, and we can even look at the champions on this specific account so we can get a sense of what's on my account that would work. We want buffs. We want increased defense. So Hoskarol has it. So Hoskarol would be a really good champion to include because he can do the increased defense. It's on a 4-turn cooldown and it's only for 2 turns, so I'd rather have somebody like, say, Marked, who is a rare, who does it on a 3-turn cooldown for 2 turns. So that's even better coverage than Hoskarol, but Hoskarol's who we have. I've also got this guy. I am offhand not... hide first, fine. This is on a 3-turn cooldown for him. Cataphract. Interesting. So he's actually just as good as Marked for this role. He's actually identical to Marked because he's putting up block debuffs. Oh, the block debuffs lasts 2 turns also? How did I not know about this? This is huge. This guy might actually make our list. I might even build this guy. Wow. Here, let's just lock him. I'll just lock him to make sure we don't foolishly squander him on food, but Fortify, it can get to a 3-turn cooldown, places a block debuffs, and a 60% increased defense. Oh, it's on this champion. See, this is why it's important to read the whole thing. Yeah, screw it. Unlock it. Cataphract. You're so selfish with your buffs, Cataract. Cataract, that's funny. Cataphract. Anyway, but damage mitigation. So really, we're looking at this guy because he's got increased defense on the whole party. And that's what we want. He's even got the increased res. I don't know that that's going to help us, but he's also immune to stun. So, man, I didn't even remember to put that on here. But yeah, damage support. You also have a stun target. I don't, that's not even really staying, but let's, here. We'll just have a second, can even tab it in. There we go. That looks a little more organized. So, stun target. This is something like a little more advanced, but basically, with a stun target, you're manipulating the clan boss into hitting a specific champion. You could hit Hoskarol because he is immune to stuns. That's over here. So he's got the stun immunity here. We could also make it Shield Guard because Shield Guard has the Shake It Off ability that shakes off the debuff as well. So, and we can hide this. Look at it. Removes 1 debuff from this champion each turn. Really, really handy. So, I'm going to leave this in the list as well. A stun target, but I'm putting it at the very end because sometimes it's fine if you have a team and you're fighting the Demon Lord and he just gets stunned. That's fine. He'll be unstunned on the next turn. Just make sure it's not something necessary for you to keep your defenses up, and that's why Hoskarol's so good because he's not going to get stunned at all. So you know you can rely on him to put up this increased defense. It's just too bad you can only have it for half the time, even when he's fully booked. So I'd want to find a way to maybe extend that so that it stays up the whole time on everybody. One solution is to make Hoskarol a little bit faster than everybody, but you still need a way to keep his HP up. So, I don't know. This is something we're going to figure out later. But damage mitigation can also include stuff like decrease attack. Oh, there's also strengthen, right? While we're doing buffs. So strengthen. Who do we have with strengthen? Big version of strengthen? Nobody. Little version of strengthen? Nobody. So never mind on this account, but strengthen is extremely good. So if you have a champion that has strengthen and or increased defense, that is a fantastic way to do it. Another buff that's useful actually is just increased speed, right? You just take more turns against the clan boss. That can be important as well. Damage support. I might even say like, I might say speed. It's probably another important one. Decreased speed is not something that'll work, but increased speed absolutely is, and that can be great for clan boss because if you take more turns before he manages to kill you, all the better. You're taking more turns, you have more chances to heal. You're taking more chances to do damage. So that's important. Counterattack, man. If you happen to pull a champion that can put counterattack on the whole party and you tune him right, against the clan boss, it's absolutely busted. Skull Crusher, for example, I don't have him, but if you pulled Skull Crusher, uh, he can put counterattack on the whole party. He makes himself unkillable, and he can even shake off a debuff when he takes a turn. Although I think it messes with his cooldowns, so you really have to watch out. But Skull Crusher, let's. He's an ogre. So if you happen to see this epic, this guy, amazing. My first playthrough, I pulled this guy early, and man, is he good. So he puts counterattack on everybody except himself, which means the clan boss is likely to attack Skull Crusher. So you've even got more control over who's going to get hit with the stun. It's going to be him. So it's stuff like this that it's good to know when you're fighting the clan boss. But for damage mitigation, also the other obvious stuff. This is maybe the most obvious one for damage mitigation is decrease attack. So who do we have with decrease attack? Nobody. But in fact, we do have somebody coming in. We do. If I go to index, and let's cross our fingers here that this isn't going to crash the game again. Here we go. Zinogre Blademaster. She has it. Decrease attack and leech. So she's doing the heals. She's doing the damage mitigation. She's got two of them. Then we got damage support. That's stuff like decrease defense, weaken. Decrease defense and weaken in particular. But you also have poisons and just other DPS champions. Ally attack is another thing. I'd call that damage support because basically the ally attack is just giving your DPS chance another chance to come in and do ally attacks. So ally attack for clan boss can be amazing. There are a number of champions with good ally attacks. She also has the increased speed. So here's the thing. Zinogre Blademaster, just look at her. Just look at her majesty. She's got weaken, so that helps with the damage support. She could probably be built for DPS. This is probably the way she's going to be built. So she's DPS. She's got healing. She's got damage mitigation. She has damage support. She has the plus speed. The only thing she's not is the stun target, really. But she has everything else. So I think she's going to be a clan boss beast. So that's why I think it's likely enough that she will be the third 6-star if I don't happen to get Djamarsa. So, you guys out there, and how are we doing for time? We're about 43 minutes in. So yeah, this video stayed pretty focused on just how to decide who to 6-star next. I might even make it short just because I don't want to jump on too many other distracting things. I want to keep the video like about one thing. I think it's more effective if the video is about one thing than if it just veers off course. Although I was talking about faction wars in the list of priorities, so we could kind of move on to that. Let's do that. Why not? But yeah. So I'm thinking Zinogre Blademaster just because we need this role, but she's also another nuker. She's not necessarily a campaign farmer. Like, she doesn't have any area of effect attacks, so she's more of a boss specialist. But if we go down to the third area here, dungeons, we need specialists. Is that showing up properly? It's not. But we need clan boss specialists. I'm even just gonna here. Now it will show up properly. We need clan boss specialists. She'd be a Fire Knight specialist. We have a Thel, but we haven't really built her out. And at this point, I don't want to. I already have Kale. Kale is the same affinity. He's got poisons. Zinokra Blademaster has the weaken already, although she's not as effective as a Thel at that one thing. But Zinokra Blademaster has like everything else. She's just got all of it. So for the Demon Lord clan boss, she's going to be completely amazing. So she's probably going to be number 3. Number 2 is going to be Sun Wukong. That's what I'm thinking. But what do you guys think? I'll ask again at the video, and I'll go over the candidate. At the end of the video, I'm going to go over the candidates. I'm going to set up a proper survey as well, so I could do a survey monkey kind of thing. But this, just leave it in the comments, and we can engage in a discussion about it. Actually, I'm probably going to end with pulling these shards. That's probably a good way to close the video, actually. So first though, let's go to Faction Wars, and let's see what we got. So for priorities, I've got we got to go over arena as well. Let's do arena next. This is how to determine what you need for the arena. In the early game in arena, the EarlyTune is going to be turn meter manipulator if you have one, buffs if you have a buffer, then your debuffer like War Maiden if you have a War Maiden or a Deacon, and then finally your nuker. If you are missing any of these roles, you can always replace them with another nuker. You could just have 4 nukers if you want. Nuke is really the only thing that's required in the arena, especially if you want to be able to farm medals. So if we go to the arena, how are we doing on these things? Okay, so if we go to the arena, right now we're in Silver 3. Hopefully we can find some fights that are easy enough to blast through. Anytime you see single champions, in fact, you can go for those. So let's see. I needed to do a mono faction one for one of the quests where it's like, do it with all Dark Elves. So this is just all Dark Elves, but it's mainly Kale doing the damage and, Spirit Host for the aura, increasing the speed of the whole party, but she also does the increase attack. So if I just run this team, she should just do her increase attack. Boom. And you can see like 45,000 damage out of Kale. That's not bad for this early stage in the game. But let's look at a more traditional team, because I have one set up here. It's speed 1. Although, you know what? Speed 1 is a little bit wonky. It's fine. Because I have the speed quest going on. I'll show you in a minute. Let's stick to this one. So you will frequently see these 4 in the arena. This is actually pretty close to the meta. You'll see Spirit Host in the lead because she has a speed aura. It's not as good as our Sun Wukong aura, but I needed to make multiple teams for Tag Team Arena. So Sun Wukong is in Team 2, and my Apothecary is in Team 2, just because I needed increased speed on multiple teams, and I needed a speed aura on multiple teams, so that's why I did it that way. But you basically have Diabolist is your fastest. She goes first. She does the turn manipulation stuff. Although the way I have her set up right now, she's going to go for the increased speed instead, but that's fine. Then we're going to have Spirit Host increase the attack. Then we're going to have War Maiden do her debuffs. Boom. Decreased defense. And she has a 100% chance to do it now. That's why I'm excited to get War Maiden back into the mix. And of course, we got Kale. He is our nuker. Now this, sometimes you'll come in and you'll see solo champions that are like just completely turbo overpowered. But boom, doesn't matter. 56,000 damage. You're out, Kale. He was probably getting ready to nuke us, but you can't. You can't, because you're dead. We could even try against this Deacon team. Why not? They got Deacon, they got this could actually be bad. If they manage to take speed control, we'll lose. But we'll live and learn. That's what we'll do. But I did make all of my champions. pretty fast. So we're putting the increased speed. We're putting the increased attack. Boom, we're nuking. And we didn't actually nuke Kale hard enough. Oh, yes, we did. That's actually one of the really good things about Kale, is if you score a bunch of kills, he gains a bunch of turn meter. So that worked out despite my poor judgment. So I also said I wanted to show you here. Look, here's the clan quest we took. This is the progress that we've made since yesterday. I basically took the place 200 increase speed in Tag Arena. I took one of the elite. I took 3 elite quests. I figured why not? This is a starter clan. Almost nobody needs elite quests, so why not take a bunch of them? The silver one kind of worries me. I don't know when we'll get to there. The Skinwalker, that's going to be our second. So basically, I'm giving myself the next 5 days and 20 hours to complete that. And we got increase speed 200 times in Tag Team Arena. So here's what I did with that. Basically, you can go to something like this. I've got 3 teams that have increased speed in it. Zinogre Blademaster. If I pulled her now, I could just use a 3rd champion that has increased speed over the whole party. But as it stands, I know that Galek puts it on himself. This Lizard Man puts it on himself. Branch Weaver puts it on herself. And no, actually, Branch Weaver puts it on a random champion. There's a selection process to it. And Rathalos Blademaster does put it on the whole party, I think. No, he only puts it on himself. So that's why I did it this way. I'm like, okay, this is the off team. It's probably not going to win frequently anyway, but if I pair it up with like the weakest looking team, is that the weakest looking, Gavin? No, that's not. Actually, the bottom one is the weakest looking. The top one, let's bring Kale, and this should be fine. So the goal is just to ramp up the increased speeds as much as possible. If I really wanted to make a dedicated team to this particular clan quest, I'd actually take somebody with the weak version of increased speed and have them go ahead of the strong version of increased speed, because then you get 8 increased speeds per fight rather than 4. But that's overkill. It's unnecessary because we have all week to do this, and we're going to be doing a lot of Tag Team Arena. I don't really like Tag Team Arena, to be perfectly honest with you. But as long as you have teams that get through it fast, you can just look for easy one-man teams and hope for the best. So we got a bunch of increased speed there, and that's basically the name of the game there. I'm just trying to line it up that way. Maybe we'll switch this up and do it this way, just because it looks like Athel is probably stronger. She's even got a blessing. Let's see if we can nail that Athel. So we get the increased speeds up. That's +4 to the quest. If you happen to be up against something where the fight drags on and you have a lot of healing cooked into your party, you could get the quest done even faster for the number of tokens you've got. Because if you keep doing the increased speed as the fight progresses over and over and over again, sometimes you can get it done in a single fight if the fight lasts long enough. But usually I'm looking for guaranteed victories as opposed to just really super efficient single fights. So there, he gets the increased speed on himself. She puts increased speed on Galek, who then dies. Because Galek doesn't actually have any gear. And he puts increased speed on himself. So I'm actually even ramping them up with this off throwaway team. Like, this was a throwaway team. I didn't really intend for this team to even win. And it does, though. So that's cool. So we got a bunch of increased speeds from there, too. How about the Bazaar? Always remember to get your Drexstar fragments, people. But public service announcement. Don't forget about Drexstar. So, next on the list, then. How close are we on this quest, anyway? Oh, we're off by 1. We're only off by 1. Let's just run one more. series of fights. Yeah, sure, I don't care. So I'll run that one and come back to the notes. So basically, that's Arena, the early game meta. This is early. Later on, toward the end game, you're going to end up fighting teams that are extremely good at staying alive through the first wave, and you might not be able to just straight up nuke them. But at this stage in the game, just go for broke and nuke. You can. I mean, part of the reason why I say turn meter manipulator, buffer, and debuffer is because you don't have to 6-star any of these 3 roles. So when determining what to 6-star, take a look at these 3 roles you need for Arena, and now realize your debuffer, War Maiden, does not need to be 6-starred. I think my War Maiden's still 3 on this team. Yeah, she's just a 3-star, and she's absolutely fine because she's doing her one job, and that's it. That's all she needs to do is place decreased defense. We can even look at her gear. Let's just go here, and I'm really keen to just see what we get. So we got 480 here. I say we just grab the accessories. We get an Undead Amulet, Sacred Ring, Demon Spawn Amulet, and that's it. That's what we're getting. So we go to Champions. So War Maiden. Take a look at War Maiden. She's got 138 accuracy, and her speed is, where is it exactly? So 185. So I've basically got her tuned to go right before Spirit Host, who also does not need to be 6-starred. She's got a speed of 191. So she will go right after the speed boost from Diabolist, who has a speed of 220, which is actually kind of like 230 because of the synergy with Spirit Host's aura. So, none of these champions, not her, not her, not her, they don't have to be 6-starred. You could just give them the right gear to make sure they go at the right speed. War Maiden, in addition, or your debuffer, needs the right accuracy, or as much accuracy as possible anyway. So your nuker needs to be 6-starred, and that's why this is so important, because right at the start of the game, you're going to be putting all of your resources into getting a single nuker. But this will give you a complete arena team where you only really need 1 6, and the other 3 are still doing a job that helps your nuker. So they're all support for the nuker. This way, we might end up 6-starring War Maiden because she's a really good champion. We will probably not 6-star Spirit Host because she is really good, but I think we're probably going to leave her at 5 at best. Just because there are much better cleansers out there. The increased attack is something that's pretty ubiquitous. You can get that from a lot of champions. I just don't think she's going to get much use. The turn meter filler, though, our good friend Diabolist, it might pay to bring her to 6. And here's why. She's probably plenty fast for now. But once we get to here, where's the amulet we got? Attack with maybe some accuracy on it. That's pretty cool. I like that. But let's say we got, did we get speed on any of these? Any of these have speed? This has speed on it. So let's say we get Diabolist to 6 stars. Her base speed, first of all, will go up to 110. And then she gets the additional 9 from this, which could easily be glyphed up to a 10. So she'd be gaining another 15 speed, even just with this early game stuff that we've got. You can also fill out the Guardian Ring with demons, and we're gonna get there. We don't have any right now, but basically, as you campaign farm, she actually drops from the last area. So you can either use duplicates of Diabolist to book her, or you could just keep copies of the other guy. The Houndspawn or Diabolist, doesn't matter. They're both rares. You can fill the Guardian Ring with them, and by the final level of the Guardian Ring, you get +3 speed. And you get lots of other cool stats as well. So Diabolist may not be in the first 5, but she might be in the first 5. If I really don't need anything else and I decide I need a little bit of extra speed, Diabolist is a really super good rare. But instead of Diabolist, it might actually be it might be Apothecary, because we got lucky. We pulled him. Apothecary is very similar, but kind of better in some ways, because he's got the increased speed and the turn meter fill on a single turn. He's got a nice little heal. He's got 3 hits on his A1 for the Fire Knight. So if we go back to our list of priorities, he kind of fills a number of roles. He can be a Fire Knight specialist, right? Because he's got the increased speed. He's got the 3 hits on the A1. He's got the support. He can even kind of have DPS. If we 6-star him, we have these masteries to look at. So if we 6-star him, because he's got 3 hits on his A1, Giant Slayer, which means when we bring him up against the clan boss or the Fire Knight or whoever, he gets 3 chances to pop out extra damage instead of the 1 that you get from here. Although you get a better chance from War Master, which is why you choose War Master if they have 1 or 2 hits on the A1. If they have more than 2 hits on the A1, or more than 2 hits overall anyway. Let's say they have 2 hits on the A1, but then a 4-hitter and a 3-hitter. You'd probably still go with Giant Slayer. So that brings us to the final area. How are we doing for time here? We're over an hour now, but let's just quickly cover the Faction Wars thing, because we're not even going to run Faction Wars right now. Basically, what I'm going to say is push 2 factions. The 2 factions are going to be kind of contingent upon what did you pull. But your starter faction is one good one, because the starter faction is open for the first week. So it'll be open all week. You'll have all week to practice at the faction and push the faction for your starter. In my case, it was Kale. So if we go to Faction Wars, and we just look at the teams right now. So for here, I mean, I'm probably going to end up using Rathalos. But for the 2 main factions, I've got Barbs and I've got the Dark Elves. So for Barbarians, we have a full team at this point. I'm happy with all 5 of these guys. We have Trugor here has an AoE, and he's got some crowd control as well. War Maiden does the decreased defense on an AoE, so she's going to get through it faster. Shield Guard, I go on and on about how good he is. Atur has provokes and crowd control, and Hoskarol has crowd control and some cleanse potential as well, and increased defense as well. So he's got a lot of support. So, and this is the reason to do it this way. You have chances when you complete the faction to get various resources, and they improve as you go levels down. You want to focus on 2 factions so that at least once or twice a week you can go after these 4 to 6-star glyphs with your best teams. And this way you're just focusing on one really good team rather than having a whole bunch of teams that kind of suck. We have 2 that we're going to focus on for the time being, and then in any other area, honestly, we just need to keep somebody that can solo. That's it. So for Barbs, this is our team. For the Dark Elves, this is our team. I'll probably do a more in-depth guide when one of the factions drops. For Dark Elves, I mean, really, Kale is a vast majority of the damage. Spirit Host is a good support champ. I did have her in a shield set, which I then took her out of, unfortunately. She was in a shield set. She had like double this in hit points, and she was protecting some of the weaker champions. But I really needed her speed to get much higher, so I got her speed to 191 so that she goes ahead of Kale, and I'm happy with that. So that's where that is. That covers pretty much everything I wanted to cover, and I think I want to pull the shards now, because that's the thing. I'm looking at that, and even though I know we're not we're not going to get Duchess. That's not going to happen. That can't happen. But we're going to do it anyway. Because we have the shards. We're tempted. I don't know. Maybe it's not a good idea. But if we happen to get Duchess, man, she'd be so good. So Duchess, 100%. It's going to be Duchess. And we'll go with Rector Drath just because she is an extremely good reviver as well. She also provides the Veils. It's very cool. It's really too bad that it's 9. I'd love to just pull them all at once. So I'm going to go to... where might I have one extra one? Probably nowhere. Could go to the quests from weekly. Oh, it'd be at the reset. You know what? Tell you guys what. I'm gonna pull them on the next episode. I'm gonna do a proper 10 pull, and I'll start the episode with it. We're gonna get this at the reset, so it'll be an early episode. It'll be right after the reset, unless maybe we're gonna get a prize now. I'm not sure. There was that spider tournament that I told you guys about. That basically that guy pulled ahead at the last minute, but we're still coming in second. I'm trying to remember offhand what the rewards were. I know there was gear. Were there any shards associated with it? So here, Dragon Attack has dropped. We got Classic Arena Takedown, which ended as well. Spider Tournament. What do we get? Positions are being finalized. You can let us know when we get to there. But I think I'm going to pull a bunch of shards. Either now, like if we get the 10 pull now, then I'll do it now. Oh, the suspense. The suspense game. Why? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? I'm trying to end a video on a positive note. There's not really a lot else for me to talk about here. I really wanted to end with this question of who to 6-star next. And that's why I'm thinking this is a really good time to just pull some more champions. Maybe we're going to end up seeing something interesting. Wow, game. That is so slow. So, we have... Oh, there it is. Okay, and hey, look at that. We got a shard. Okay, so I'm going to do it right now. It's going to be these 10. We also have stuff from Classic Arena Takedown. What's still in here? And I hope this doesn't take as long. I do apologize for this, folks. I am hoping when I transfer this over to the new machine, this doesn't happen. Do I need this energy yet? I don't know. Maybe. Let's just grab it. I'll find a use for it. So here we go. This is going to be a shard pull video, I guess, as well. So we got our progressive chances. We got Duchess. We have Rector Drath. I'm not wearing my lucky hat. Hold on. And let's just do a quick camera check. Yeah, it looks fine. So here we go. It's me, Shardio, here to make the polls. And here's what I'm hoping for. Please, RNGesus, please give us that Duchess. I know we don't deserve the Duchess. Like we're a brand new account, and honestly, getting the Duchess might kind of invalidate a lot of what I'm trying to do here, because really the RNG is it's real. It's a real thing. It's a real force of nature in this game, and having even Rector Drath would transform the account somewhat. Having Duchess would completely transform it. And like with Beanie, um, he pulled Leorius off his only Void Shard, which is just a completely nutty champ to pull. But that's a once in a lifetime opportunity to showcase what is a new account like with a Leorius in the lead. So here we go. Here come the shard pulls. So we're getting Tagore. Oh, we got Tagore. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm super excited. See, here's the thing. We even got a duplicate Grinner. That's kind of funny. And we got Banshee. Banshee is a really solid rare that we can use to solo the undead faction. So there's a lot of good stuff in here. This is the thing. This early in the account, we have Tagore, and I was talking about like I need a good reviver to build. Let's take a look at Tagore. It's probably going to be him now. Um, where is he? So here he is. And if you've been watching every single episode, you might even recognize him because I've been talking about him. This guy is like the GOAT when it comes to epic revivers. He might very well be, you know, he's in the top three for sure, but he might even be the top one. But decreases damage. So he's got damage mitigation. He's got a revive all allies. It's on a 5-turn cooldown, which is fine. It's not the best in the game, but it's really, really good. He's got increased speed for the whole party. This is an increased defense that goes on the ally with the lowest current HP. This is maybe a decent supplement for Hoskarol. So I could have this guy and Hoskarol and Zinogre Blademaster, and then like, Sun Wukong and Kale. Just these two. That could be the 5. I could even post that here. So Reviver Healer. I could go like Tagore. I mean, I don't even know if I said I'd put this out as a question to you guys, but my third champion is probably going to be Tagore at this point. Maybe, unless. So again, here's one last hint. Help a brother out. If you're thinking of restarting anyway, if you're tempted to restart anyway, why not get the referral link? It's a good way to help me out. I'd still consider which one to build, and that could be up to you guys too. I could say, all right, so for the Reviver Healer, number 3, Tagore or Djamarsa. But also for healer, we of course also have Zinogre Blademaster. So she's going to be in the top 3, in the top 5. She is going to be one of the first 5 we build. I might even consider building her ahead of Tagore or Djamarsa. Maybe. But I don't know. I think maybe we need Tagore to be in the party doing his big carry. Tagore is going to be a big carry. So you know what? RNGesus gave us what we needed. So thank you, RNGesus, for the victory today. It wasn't either of the target champions, but Tagore will get the job done. And I think I might even like this a little bit better because Duchess is OP. Tagore is maybe more of a realistic champion. And there are other good AoE Reviver champs that you can maybe look out for. Another one of my favorites, not that I expect to ever see him on this account, but Gorgrab, he's another one of my favorites. I like to mention this guy. He's got revives all allies on a 5-turn cooldown. He's got speed in arena. That can be really helpful. He fills turn meters and does the increased attack. He's basically like the mini version of Arbiter. If you look at her kit, I mean, basically, it's the same thing, just like a little bit weaker. And obviously, getting Arbiter is a really solid goal. I'm going to try to get Arbiter in the first 6 months of this game, but we'll see. We'll keep pressing the quests. But that's it. There's a fair amount of excitement here today, but I'd say this is a good place to close. So I'm going to close that question again. The two-part question. One, who do you think I should 6-star next? Or you could even we could even like look at this. Here's like an expanded version of the champions that we've got. I could even just leave it in a freeze frame with the understanding that I would also very much like Djamarsa, just in case anybody's thinking of doing the referral thing. Hey, do me a solid, and and go for that. And Djamarsa would be in the list, but if not, honestly, Tagore will get the job done. He is a great champion. So here's the list of champions. Freeze frame it anywhere, and let me know who you think I should 6-star in the next 4. So we've got Kale. I need 4 other 6-stars to use in all the areas of the game. We've gone over the notes about who to 6-star next. So this is what you're looking at in terms of the notes. This is what you're looking at in terms of the champions. Let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care of yourselves. See you on the next video.